Well. We beat again. No Life Digital Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast. Every Sunday now, 12 p.m. Eastern, we come at you with the top gaming information, news, stories, juicy dramas, tech news, tech drama. We give it to you all. Culture, media. What do you want to know? We're going to give it to you. We've been absent a few weeks because I had my first child. Yay! I don't have the sound. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Prow, 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 prow.
I don't have a soundboard ready. Fuck. That's all
The
good.
air horn for the baby.
Yeah, air horn for the baby. Hold on. Let me get my
But
soundboard.
don't actually play an air horn for the baby. So that's a bad idea.
No, I got a good soundboard for you.
Oh
I
no,
just have to
that's
pull
why
it
I
up.
can't ever find the soundboard. Is the baby's already doing the air horn for him?
Here we go. I got the explosion. There's a new baby here. Congrats to me. Yes. So, but we're back at you today. We're back doing the same old. We're coming at you. Hello, Doobie. Hello, Jerry.
Morning.
How was your weekend?
Oh, it's been going well.
Chill.
Yeah, it's been
Work.
not too terrible.
Worked overtime again, but then
That's good. Getting that
Yes.
OT in. Right.
in that OT, and then got home and streamed more Persona 5 Strikers, which is a very fun game.
Is that a Muso game?
So I think they market it terribly because it's Muso in that there's just a lot of enemies on screen, but it's more Final Fantasy VII Remake combat than anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you have your persona elements where you're sneaking around, you can ambush enemies, but when you get into the actual combat, it's real-time action, kind of like a Muso. But then if you hold the R1 button, you enter like freeze frame where you get to pick your skills from your like persona, so you can attack with like the lightning magic or the ice magic. You go after the weaknesses. So it's much more of an action RPG than a Muso game.
That's pretty cool.
It's really I'm having fun, and it's probably the funniest game they've made.
I wish they. Is it on the Switch?
It is on the Switch, it's on the PS4 and on PC. The Switch, however, has like horrendous load times. I'm talking like 45 seconds to a minute sometimes for loading screens.
Really?
I'm playing on the PS5, but the PS4 version, so it's not optimized for PS5, but it's like essentially playing it on a PS4 Pro, but with an SSD. I don't have any loading times. There are no loading times.
Yeah. PS5 is pretty fucking cool, isn't it? I
The
can't wait for more
PS5
games
the
to
loading
come out.
times alone is like worth it.
Everything. I mean, I've been playing like a lot of old games, and they're all like boosted up to 60 frames now. Like a steady, like actual native 4K, and
I didn't have a
awesome.
PS4 Pro, so I'm like, I want to almost go back now and replay like God of War.
Oh yeah,
Because it would be like playing
No,
it
do
on
it.
the
It's-
PS4 Pro at this point.
like Neo 2, God of War, like it's like a different experience. Because like even on the PS4 Pro, like it was like around like 50, 55. You know what I mean? The native resolution would drop down to like 1080 at most
I'm
points.
definitely replaying Jerry's favorite game of 2020, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade when it comes to the PS5.
Redux,
And
remake
not
Redux.
only is it Jerry's favorite game of 2020, they announced even more. They're remaking Advent Children. They're remaking Before Crisis. They're remaking Crisis Core. They're
Oh, I
remaking
saw that.
Dirge of Cerberus. And it's all going to be on mobile,
Yeah.
which is
And
weird
I'm
that it's
not
going.
gonna
And
touch any of it.
yeah, I'm actually
okay.
I'm actually Ever Crisis is
In a
weird.
weird-
I'm
in a weird
really looking
way-
forward to it.
In a weird way, I think that's more okay if you're remaking them as mobile games.
I think it's okay
I
they're
agree.
remaking them out as not only as mobile games, but they're all going to be turn-based RPGs, including Advent Children, which was a movie. So that's actually going to be a game now. It was never a game; it was a movie.
Yeah.
The whole Final Fantasy VII remake thing is I don't. So we've been going for a while, so we missed like a Nintendo Direct. We missed the State of Play.
We missed the worst
Which honestly,
Nintendo
the State of
Direct
Play.
ever.
The State of Play was just Final Fantasy VII for me at that point. The whole State of Play was pretty. The only good thing I think I got out of that, besides that, was that Oddworld Soulstorm is free for PlayStation Plus users in April.
I couldn't
Also
even tell
missed
you.
the most important news of the entire year that Classic WoW TBC is coming out.
There you go.
That's right. We did miss the whole like Blizzard, whatever the heck it is.
That was the only one I caught. I didn't even watch the other ones.
I did see the Diablo 2 remake.
Yeah.
And Diablo 4.
Diablo 2. Okay, so Diablo 2 remake. I get why, but I don't get why, because it's, again, I don't like the idea of let's remake games. And this does go back to, I'm pretty sure the team that's remaking Diablo 2 we talked about, them getting moved around in Activision, and you were complaining about them not making more remakes, and then they got moved to Blizzard to make another remake.
Mm-hmm. But I'm actually pretty cool with it because this looks fucking sick.
I think it's.
I mean, Diablo 2 has got
right?
but it's one of those things where it's like Diablo 2 is a big part of my heart, but it has a big part of my heart in 2000.
I think them letting you keep
in
your
a 2020 world, like I'm gonna start playing that game and just being like,
I want to play Poe.
Hell yeah, I miss this, but like Path of Exile took you and made you better.
Them letting you keep your saves is from like even your old ass saves. You can still use them. I think that's a neat concept.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
cool.
With its being a Blizzard game, if you actually want it, chances are if you own a current digital edition, I don't think it counts for a physical copy, but if you have a digital edition, usually you get the re-release for free.
Hold on,
like that's how I ended up getting Warcraft 3 Reforged or whatever shit that ended up being, was because I own Warcraft 3 through Blizzard.
I gotta show off the new member of the team here.
Aw.
Say hi, baby. This is Isla. Did she just eat?
Say hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Staring at mommy.
Nah, they're cutie.
Okay.
Until she gets the age where she's gonna start grabbing your microphone.
True.
She's already a nuisance.
Every kid,
She did not want to sleep last night. She kept us both up like all night, which is rare.
There's also like a chance that, knowing you, she'll end up being a talker.
Probably.
And then like whenever you're trying to do a show or a video, you'll just have her in the background like 3 rooms away and you can still hear her.
I didn't even think of that, actually.
Yeah.
That is going to be an issue. Gonna have to make a rule. No, not allowed to on this level of the house.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start investing into some more sound dampening and soundproofing.
Yeah, give her own fucking room. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't played Diablo 2 in so fucking long. I agree. When I start playing it, I'll probably be like, I just want to play Poe. But I am happy that we are getting a remake because it is a fucking great.
It's Diablo.
Yeah,
it's
it is
Diablo
fucking
2.
great.
Well, it's the best Diablo. Like,
and they are making some nice little upgrades, not just the graphics. They are keeping it like gridded, which I think is pretty cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff. We'll see if it pans out that way, but I am excited to, because like I don't know, I haven't played anything other than Poe for the last few months, like hundreds of hours in the last few months, nonstop, and it would be nice to get a new ARPG, at least until Poe 2 or Diablo 4.
It would, but like that's what's so interesting about it, is because like a lot of like the original developers of Diablo 1 and 2 have come out and been like, yeah, no, Path of Exile is our spiritual successor. It's not Diablo 3.
And it's so I've had like, you know, I'm still learning shit. Like I'm still not even close to like the levels of like the top Poe players. It's insane how much, like how far ahead like, for example, there's a level of depth
it's never going to be able to touch anymore, basically.
Yeah, it's insane. Like or Wolcen was a recent one. Last Epoch was a recent one. And these are like 2 new ARPGs that had like a pretty good development team. And when they came out, it was just like, these are cool, but like you're not even fucking near Path of Exile. And it's going to be interesting to see how Blizzard responds to that, because I know that they're
the only ones who can get close to the biggest issue I have with most of the newer ARPGs, which is Diablo 3, as much as I don't like a lot of it, but I still like some of it, and Path of Exile, they're fluid.
Yeah.
They're just response. I mean, PO used to have a lot of lag issues and it still does sometimes.
Yeah.
But like your actual movement of the character, your actual casting of abilities, things like that is just fluid.
Yeah.
It flows.
Diablo
well.
is more, I would say Diablo is more
Oh, Diablo
fluid.
3 kills it.
Yeah.
Diablo 3 is the most fluid ever, period.
Yeah.
But even Path of Exile compared to all of these other games, like
Yeah.
you input action, you see the response, you know what I mean? Like, and no, a lot, every other one's felt super clunky in comparison.
Yeah. No, 100%. So that's and like the way that Diablo does its skills, in my opinion, is inferior to Path of Exile, and it looks like that's not
Diablo
changing.
2 is better than Diablo 3 because you at least had like a skill tree. You know what I mean? You had a talent tree.
Yeah, but and now it looks like Diablo 4 is kind of still keeping the same Diablo 3 skills thing going on, and it's going to be interesting to see because I want them to compete. I want Path of Exile to get some competition because it's too complex for its own good, where it actually hurts it in some respects.
It does.
I like how
agree.
Diablo is a little bit more it's a lot more streamlined.
Path of Exile 4 years ago, when I first started playing it, was already accused of being too complex of a game.
Yeah.
And since then, they've literally just been like, every 3 months, well, here's a new system.
Yeah. And it's never been like, this new system is like simple. It's always been like, this new system is extremely complex, like the syndicate tree. I still don't even understand how that fucking works. And it's a major part of like, the game. What I'd also like about Path of Exile, and I'm curious to know if Diablo is going to go the same route. So, like loot, the way that loot works in Path of Exile is like kind of useless. Like whatever drops is like, you're not really picking up loot. It's really more about crafting the items that you want, which takes like months to do. And I kind of like that. I've kind of
improved that.
I kind of grew to like that aspect of it.
I like it, but it's been a bit overblown. Of just like,
it's insane.
it does feel weird. Like by the time you're into mapping, you don't pick up anything, even though it's all yellow. It's all worth a decent amount. But you don't pick it up because you're literally losing time.
Yeah, you're losing
from finding the item that's actually worth
and
something.
the map is just like, if you do like a delirium, like the map is literally like crashing the server filled with items that you don't pick up any of them. It's just it is a kind of a mess.
Like you get like every time you do a map, you're getting like $2,005 bills, which is still worth a good amount, you know what I mean? But you're
not getting like $100.
You're wasting your time picking up those fives from finding that $20 million bill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm curious I'm excited for both of these. Like I'm definitely gonna check out Resurrected. I'm excited to kind of dive back into Diablo 2 world, but I'm more excited for Diablo 4 and I'm more excited for Path of Exile 2 because I am getting at the tail end of my Path of Exile playing where it's like I just want something new.
I'm probably putting it on the back burner until they do their big update.
I have a feeling though, like you said, like I'm just gonna play it and be like, I'd rather just fucking make like a weirdo fucking witch build on Path of Exile and spend like 1,000 hours doing it.
That's what keeps me coming back to Path of Exile is it makes every game feel incredibly limited in that genre because every game is, I mean, it's like, okay, you're a barbarian and here's your 6 abilities and you have 3 choices for each of them and that's it. You know, you have 18 cool builds, but that's it.
Yeah, and you're just min-maxing at that point.
Here's 350 skills and do with them what you wish.
Yeah.
Like there's just a level of replayability in that of like
it's unmatched. It's unmatched. Yeah. I'm on my third build in this league.
Dumb builds.
I'm on my third build in this league. It's actually an addiction. It's a problem.
Once you start getting into it, you make your starter build and you use that to get a little bit of currency to be able to make your first like
real
true build. And then from that you start venturing into, do I want to make a second? Do I want to like improve that guy? Do I want to make a hipster build? Like it's fun.
And I hate grinding, but I don't mind in Path of Exile. It's not something that I don't know. All right. Well, that's
It's because
Diablo 2.
it tangibly leads you to somewhere. You know what I mean? Like
True.
you set
No,
goal,
that's a
but
good
like
point.
it's actually leading you to that goal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, all this talk about Dota 2 and not Dota 2, kind of remakes, and Diablo 2, but man,
But that's
I'm
the
just sitting here
problem, is
going.
you can make a new Path of Exile
I'm
instead
just
of
sitting here going, all our theories and the Square trademarks for First Soldier, Ever Crisis. Like First Soldier, it's totally gonna be a game about Sephiroth as a kid, a younger Sephiroth. No, it's a fucking mobile free-to-play battle royale.
yeah.
Shoot me.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
I'll play it on BlueStacks, but
I'm all for more mobile games, man. Keep giving me mobile games. I will never turn down a mobile game.
Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale was not what I was expecting to see.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Fascinating.
Square's gonna milk that Final Fantasy titty for all it's worth.
Wait, have you guys seen the Mortal Kombat trailer?
Oh yeah. My only two critiques on it, besides the fact that it does look cool and I am excited to see it, is that it does the classic movie trope of anytime you make a movie based on a medium, at the end you always have to do the iconic theme song, but instead of the original you have to do it slowed down in orchestra.
Yeah, let me
So
play
at the
it.
end of this trailer it's just like do 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 do.
Hold on, let me
But
play
like
it.
with the violins, I'm like, nah, techno. Throw me the Immortals. Give me the classic do 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 do. And the end of the trailer.
Here it comes. And with the scorpion, get over here.
And I'll give. I was watching Maximilian dude who streams. Like he's big, one of the big FGC streamers. He did it. And I agree with him. The Get Over Here should have been the Ed Boon Get Over Here from the games. It hits harder. It's got the bit of nostalgia that you want. It's a little campy, but it fits better.
I don't know. I kind of like whatever this trailer is. I think it's pretty cool because I understand like Mortal Kombat is like the most campy movie ever and like absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, the whole series is pretty campy.
But I do
That's-
want to
that's
see it a
my
little bit
worry
more
with that.
grounded. I kind of want to see what it's
Yeah.
like a little bit more based in reality.
That is
I
my
mean, the
that's
last-
my personal worry with it too. Is like, dude, okay, the trailer is literally 10 seconds into it. You're exploding people's arms.
Like the
Yes,
way that he like
exploded.
the way that Sub-Zero like cuts the dude and like freezes his blood and then stabs him with the blood is pretty
That's
fucking cool.
actually
Yeah.
from Mortal Kombat 9 or 10. I think he actually does a move like that.
Yeah, he's done that
yeah,
before.
but
Yeah.
that's one of those things where it has a hard time translating. Does that make sense? We're like, okay, in a game, hell yeah, that's sick. But then when I'm seeing it in a movie, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
See, when I
Yeah.
see it in a movie, I'm also, hell yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, but also like
Yeah,
it looks like
fair.
they killed Jax like right in the beginning.
No, that's how Jax gets his arms.
Oh,
blown
I
off in
see.
this,
Oh.
so he's gonna have the metal arms.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking sick.
One of my favorite memes from that trailer when it came out was how much people were just trying to deep fake Steve Harvey's face on the Jax.
Wait, I want to see if I
So
can find that.
Just look up Steve Harvey Mortal Kombat. I think you'll find it.
The other thing too that I know this movie is going to have an issue with is like, I don't know why this is a pet peeve, but it's just like it's gonna have so much unrealistic blood. It's gonna actually annoy me.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be super gory and silly. I mean,
Like,
you've got Kano's classic like heart rip fatality, and then he goes,
Well, no, I mean someone's gonna
Kato
die and they're
wins.
gonna lose like 7 people's worth of blood from like a sword cut. You know?
Yeah,
what
I mean-
like
Steve Harvey as Jax. That would have been amazing.
who else? Like what? I'm trying to think. Quentin Tarantino does that. Look at like, Kill Bill. Like anybody gets their
Yeah,
arm
and it's
cut off,
still
it's just
absurd to me.
spurting blood.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
you
more
have
like
to leave. You have to leave.
That is
you
also
have to
still
suspend
a
your
different-
belief.
true, but that's still a different level of like, well, I'm gonna go kill 30 people and I'm gonna have a sea of blood underneath me.
I will say like the concept of Mortal Kombat is not based in reality at all. It is pretty
No.
It is pretty goofy.
But that's why I like it as a video game, and my argument is that's a hard like cross translation, I guess, is like I think it works well in a video game,
Yeah.
but in a movie, like
I love the
okay,
original.
dude, like I don't
I
know.
watched the original so many times as a kid. It's so stupid. The way that what's his name does the split and then punches Goro in the dick.
Oh
Like,
God,
come on.
I
Johnny
want like
Cage
Johnny
yeah,
split.
Cage,
I
yeah.
want
It's
Mortal
great.
Kombat Annihilation, dude. Like that's what I
No,
want out of
nobody
my
wants
movies.
Annihilation. That's
I
the
do, dude.
worst.
Exactly.
They
That
killed
movie was
Johnny
so
Cage in the
fucking
first
bad.
5 minutes.
I'm excited. I kind of want to see
And
a
that's what I
real
want
Mortal
out of a
Kombat.
Mortal Kombat movie. I want it to be so fucking bad. It's actually funny.
Well,
I
like
don't want a
See,
serious Mortal Kombat because you can't.
Annihilation wasn't funny.
I will say
It was
this,
to me.
the
Oh, it was fucking hilarious to
the
me.
CGI in this looks absolutely incredible. So it looks like we're gonna get some nice CGI. It looks like they're spending some good money on it.
It looks pretty decent.
I'm wondering, like, I mean, that's the theory now, is who's Cole, the main character, and a lot of theories are that it's based
Johnny
on the
Cage's, like,
birthmark he
son.
has here, that he's probably he could either be the other Sub-Zero, because the original Sub-Zero dies, becomes Smoke, Noob Saibot. No, he doesn't. He becomes Noob Saibot, and then the good Sub-Zero is Baihan, who could potentially be Cole. And the other theory is that it's Johnny Cage going by a different name after he failed to be an actor.
I mean, I would expect it
And
to be
that one
related to
would
Johnny
work.
Cage or
The
Liu
Johnny Cage one
Kang.
would work because the recent games have been putting this narrative of so much of Johnny Cage as like one of the chosen ones. His ancestors were war gods or something.
Wait, have you
From,
guys
like-
ever played this game, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero?
It's bad. Don't play it.
No, it's not. It's the fucking greatest.
Oh God, anthologies. This is so,
Oh my god, I played this
so
game. I don't think I've ever
bad.
beat it because it's so fucking tough. But I played
Yeah, 'cause
so
it's-
much
it's
of this
so
stupid
bad.
game. So much of this stupid game.
It has the live action FMVs that are really campy.
Oh, they're great, dude. Oh
And it
man.
introduced Quan Chi, so
Oh, this is such a fucking great game. What are you talking about? It's so bad. Holy shit, this just reminded me of like the hours I've played of this fucking stupid game. Man, it's crazy how far gaming has come. You ever look at this shit and you're just like, I would never look at a game like this today. Fascinating. Oh yeah, and then you could do the fake out. All right, so there's Mortal Kombat. I'm excited.
They're gonna try to pretend it's way too serious than it actually is, and it's gonna end up not working. There's my
hey,
prediction.
here's the best part. If you have HBO, through whatever means, and you have HBO Max, you don't have to pay to see it.
True.
I've been digging that. I've been digging the HBO movie stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I'll
been
probably end up watching it. You know what I mean?
Oh
But, like,
shit!
it's
Have you
just-
guys seen?
They're gonna try to make it a serious movie, and it can never exist as a serious movie.
Have you guys seen Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO?
No.
You have to watch it. 10 out of 10 movie. It's with the guy, I don't remember his name, like Lakeith something. And it's about this story of how one of the Black Panthers was killed. Oh my fucking God. I was like, kind of don't want to see this. Kate talked me into it and I watched it. I was like, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's so fucking good. So if you have time, go watch Judas and the Black Messiah. It is a 10 out of 10 fucking ride of a movie. It's so good. So well done.
I just got done watching the season finale of WandaVision.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. I wanted to show this image of Kevin Smith crying again. He got done. He got done watching it too. Can someone explain to me, please, why he's always fucking crying, this guy?
Because he survived a Widowmaker heart attack, lost a lot of weight, and has now pretty much seen death. And
So like everything he sees is like just touches
emotional
him.
as all hell about everything in life.
Every Instagram picture is him crying. It's like, it's kind of crazy.
When you have pretty much a near-death experience and you have to completely change your entire life, I guess that does something to you.
Yeah.
It makes you more emotional. It makes you.
Is WandaVision like a sad movie or show?
No, I mean, there's some sad parts to it. I mean, if you're emotionally invested in the characters, which
He must be.
it does. I think it does a great job in 9 episodes that the movies don't do a great job of doing, which is giving Wanda and the Vision, both characters, space to breathe and develop.
Okay.
Which movies are hard to do that when you're doing like the Avengers and you need to find screen time for 30 different characters.
I think he cried with the Mandalorian as well. I did the same picture.
I haven't watched Mandalorian yet, so
Really? You don't like it or something?
it's not that I don't like it. It's just there was this I think when it came out, I was at a point where I was just like, I'm Star Wars out.
True.
This is too much Star Wars.
True.
So I'm gonna revisit it eventually, but right now I'm still like, I still really don't care all that much. The only thing I would care to do is play like a Fallen Order 2 at this point, and that's it.
Okay. Mandalorian, I thought was excellent. I love that shit. That's probably my favorite Star Wars thing ever. And I don't really like Star Wars though, so that's a different combo.
Thought you loved the new stuff.
I do. I like it. I thought it was pretty fun. I liked it better than a lot of the older stuff. I thought a lot of the older stuff was kind of boring, which
Yeah,
I
I've
know
also
is
heard
heresy, and I know I understand that no one agrees with me, but
I've heard that there's a lot of new. There's like
I like most of it, but to me it's the Pokemon argument. Like
sure.
it's a fantastic show, but you had to have seen it as a 6-year-old. You know what I mean? Because that's the intended audience.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon, we are kind of capturing up things we missed. Like we're going for.
Oh yeah, there is a new Pokemon.
People are very mad about
Good.
Pokemon.
Oh, when are they aren't
remakes.
mad about Pokemons?
Trust me, I know. They're mad about
Good.
the Pokemon.
I'm gonna start calling it Pokemon just because I know that.
Well, I mean, that's a person.
I know, and I'm gonna give her a shout out. Shout out Pokemon. Know nothing about you other than your name is Pokemon.
All I know is that she just gets way too much hate on the internet.
Sure, because she's a woman in gaming. Go figure.
Because she's a successful woman gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, woman in gaming.
Woman gaming streamer.
Her streams are pretty good. I watched a lot of the OTV crowd, which she's in, so they're all good.
There you go.
That's all I've done with
Shout
the
out
past 6 months
Pokemon.
of my life is watch Among Us content daily.
Shout out Pokemon.
Yeah. But we're getting open world. We are getting an open world Pokemon game, like a Breath of the Pokemon.
Okay, so when I saw it, I was like, this seems pretty cool.
Also, which, by the way, if you guys have not seen the Twitch show Hive Mind, run by Ludwig and Charlie, Voice Critical Penguin Zero, literally a week and a half ago, and I think it was about a week before this news came out, the game show, it's a game show run through Twitch chat that's basically Family Feud. They have 4 streamers up there, they pull Twitch chat, and they have to guess Twitch chat's answers. They asked, what game would you most want to see that is not open world become an open world game?
What's a
Pokemon was the
Pokemon?
#1 answer.
God damn it. And then people found a way to be mad about it.
Yeah, when I saw,
it doesn't look like it runs well, and which, I mean, it's the Switch, and it's Game Freak. Game Freak is, unfortunately for us, Game Freak's not very good at making engines.
Does it need to really run well? It doesn't seem like it runs bad.
I mean, that frame rate was looking real rough.
Really?
It's also early build, so you don't know how well.
Oh, you're
how
right.
far ahead it is. They said it's early 22 release.
Oh, you're right. It looks like shit.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize it looked this bad.
Game Freak. I mean, okay,
Oh my god! What the fuck?
So the new Pokemon Snap game coming out looks really nice, but that one's being made by Bandai Namco. That's not a Game Freak engine. It's not even a Game Freak game. Bandai Namco is making it, which is why it looks really good. Because they also did Pokken, which looked really good.
The new Pokemon Snap does look really good, actually.
Yeah, because Bandai Namco knows how to make games. They know how to make engines that work. Game Freak does not have the greatest track record of making well-built or well-optimized engines. I'm sorry, I don't. So they're making this open world game, and it's hard to say that the frame rate's going to be the same when it comes out, because obviously we're still at least a year away from this game. But the early signs don't look great.
Well, I was like,
the concept is great.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty interesting.
The concept's that other game that got popular on Steam.
Valheim?
I forget the name of it. Shoot, this is gonna bug me. We talked about it on the show. A lot of people are super hyped about it, but it is also like the Pixelmon, like the Minecraft mod.
Well, it wasn't Temtem. There was another one that just came
No,
out. that
Temtem.
people
That's what I
Temtem.
was
liked.
thinking of.
Yeah,
No, there
Temtem.
was another one that just came out that people like were really eating up. I think it was like Monsters. God damn it, my buddy
Yeah, but
won't
like
shut up about it.
but there's been a couple of games like that of like the Temtem style that I'm not surprised they're gonna want to try to go make a game in that style.
I mean, it's something different, right? It's something not the same, which is good. That's good for Pokemon. It needs more variety. It needs to be more different. But it also needs to run well.
Yeah. I like this idea. Like I thought the last Pokemon, I don't know, I was not into it. I would be way more into an open
the
world
last
Pokemon.
Pokemon was great if you were if you're a competitive player. It was great. They did a lot of really good changes for competitive, for like for raising Pokemon to get them to competitive stats. It was a lot of quality of life changes for competitive Pokemon. But as a casual player, its story was easily the most lame. The characters are okay for the most part, but nothing to write home about. The music was solid, but not like anything amazing. There was a few good tracks. Some of the Pokemon designs were really good, but the game itself, just play it once, and I kind of don't really care about playing it again.
Yeah, I'm more prone to I'm more prone to an open world new sort of Pokemon idea because I like the idea of catching monsters and training them and doing that whole thing.
Fairness though, like
I don't
outside
like
of-
the turn-based gamble of the. I don't. I'm not a big fan of turn-based stuff, so that's kind
I
of
mean,
why.
I like it in Pokemon. Like Pokemon's the first like of that style that I played that I truly enjoyed. But I will say that that's how I felt about all of them except like the original three, and I think maybe a little bit of second gen. But even by the time it got the third gen, I think I played
I'm
Sapphire twice and was kind of like, okay,
I wouldn't
I'm
even
gonna
lie.
play them. I'm gonna play them. I'm gonna play them through. I'm gonna enjoy it. But they've.
I don't know
I'm
why I
not
would
going back to
ever.
any of them.
I don't know why I would ever play Gen 2 again when the remakes in Gen 4 were far superior.
Well, I mean, there's that too. But I
Heart
never
Gold and
played
Soul
I
Silver
never
are
played
fantastic.
It's well, that's also part of the reason why I never played the remakes of like the. I've heard really good things about Fire Red and like the remakes of all of them, but it's just like
I mean, Fire Red is okay
I
just
got a
because it's
copy.
Game
I got a
Boy,
copy
but
of the Game Boy version with all 151. I did my time. I have zero interest in ever
the
playing that game again.
the big difference with the remakes for remakes of Gen 2 and Gen 4 rather than the remakes of Gen 1 and Gen 3 is that Gen 4 is the gen that added the special physical split to moves. Where prior to Gen 4, if it was a fire move, it was always special. It didn't matter if it was it was always a special stat, which is why Flareon, who's a Pokemon with high physical but not high special, is crap because fire is special. But then they added the split in Gen 4 that's like, okay, no, this is a fire move, but it's a fire physical move, which means, okay, Flareon's no longer crap. They have access to good moves that also use their stat. That was a huge, huge mechanic change. And that's why it made like the Gen 2 remakes better because now you have better mechanics.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't care about any of that.
I don't. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp where it's like that is pretty cool, but like
I know I'm a big
it's one of
Gen
those like
4 fan.
That's fair. It's just one of those like I'm gonna play like I
It
if
needs
you're
some
still
spark.
talking
It needs
to,
something new, man.
Elementary school, middle school, me, hell yeah, dude. Let's replay Pokemon all day. But like,
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, the originals, of
I'm
course.
30 now. You know what I mean? Like
It needs some
I'm not
newness.
sitting there like yeah, dude. I'm fiending and replaying
Telling
Pokemon
you,
for the seventh time now.
Randomizers.
Now, if there was like
That's the
1,000,
I mean,
go.
that's fair. I don't have the same interest. Is my point. Like, I played through Sword and Shield. I had a great time, and I'm never gonna touch that game. I did that with all of them after Gen 3, basically,
Yeah,
of the original Gen
that's
3.
definitely the thing for me is like the newer the game and the less there is any kind of modding scene or any kind of like randomizer or any challenge scene. It's hard to make those games challenging for a replay. That's my thing with Pokemon replays is I want it to be a challenge. I want there to be some kind of thing, whether it be a Nuzlocke or a randomizer. something different.
I like
you
the-
can do those with the older games, but you can't really do them with the newer games.
I like the
Just
idea of
limitations.
catching all the Pokemon, and like you can't even do that, right? Like it's not even possible to catch all the Pokemon.
You have to import from older gens because not all of the Pokemon are available. There's Pokemon that aren't even available, even if you have them in the older gens. You can't even transfer them to Sword and Shield,
Right.
Because the
You
game
can't
doesn't support
you
them.
can't really ever get all Pokemon other than the original. When the original was out, you could get the 150, right? And then
If you want to get all the Pokemon that currently exist, you have to have been doing it since
Right.
years ago.
I like the idea of
decades
like
ago.
there's 1,000, 1,500 Pokemon. Go try to catch them all. I wouldn't
There's
be.
897 now.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's in the 900.
How many can you get in a game, like the latest game? Like, can you get?
Want to say between 250 and 300.
No. Because I think
And
that
that's
would
like
be.
what you can catch in. I don't even know if that's what you can catch in game.
Yeah, that's what
That
I
might
mean. Like
just be
in the
what it
game, how many
supports.
can you? Like, if say like a new Pokemon came out, you had all the original plus the new ones. Another Pokemon comes out, all the original plus the new
There's
ones.
a lot, and that's the thing is a lot of people complained when Sword and Shield came out. Oh, they're reusing assets. They're reusing assets. They're reusing assets. When you've got 900 Pokemon and you want to make them all, you want to make full 3D models, upgraded high-res models for every single one of them. That is a lot of time and money. But the
Yeah,
other
but sure,
argument
but
to it
that
is,
is
I
your entire
understand.
game. Like that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That is your game.
And I will recognize the counterpoint to that, which is it's Pokemon Company. They're worth like
Yeah.
$2 billion. They have the money.
Like that's all they have to do is make
They're
a
just
Pokemon.
not spending it.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know.
And that's a valid. That is a totally valid criticism.
I like the idea of the open world because it kind of. I mean, this is something that I always wanted to see. It looks like it runs like shit, but at least it is something new. I'm interested in seeing it. But if you can only catch like fucking 100 of them, then I won't be interested. Give me thousands. I want that. I want them all in there. I want to try to catch all the fucking crazy ones.
I mean, that's fair. For me, again, going back to that, like I took in elementary school, I took the first one serious. I have a copy with all of them. I have 2 copies of blue and a copy of red and a copy of yellow. You know what I mean? But that was fun the first time. I'm not sitting here trying to catch 1,000 Pokemon when I don't even know like 700 of them.
I think the most interesting thing to come out of the Pokemon, it's called Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting tidbits and mechanics is that when you're in battle and you lose all your Pokemon, you don't automatically end the fight. The Pokemon will attack you.
Oh.
And it's like,
So can you beat the Pokemon up?
can you attack the Pokemon? And
Yeah,
if
can you beat 'em up? That would be the first time, right? That a human could beat a Pokemon up?
Peter's gonna have a field day with that one.
I mean, is that is that animal abuse or is that like furry
Pokemon
abuse? Yeah, what is that? That's interesting.
Just beat up a Pokemon with a stick.
I mean, if you could beat up Pokemon, then I'm down for it. I'll fucking beat the shit out of a Pikachu. All day.
Wayne uses kick. It's horribly
Wait, you know what's
effective and
interesting?
sad.
You can train quote unquote animals to fight other animals. No one has a problem with it. But as soon as a human goes and they light an animal on fire, then everyone's all up in arms. Very interesting.
PETA has a problem with it.
True.
They have a problem with everything, though.
They are monsters. They're not really animals, right? They're
To be
pocket
fair,
monsters.
are you going to consider a giant pile of rocks to be an animal?
Hey man, there's some insects that look like rocks. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Pokemon does come from the fact that it was originally...
They're monsters, though. They're not animals. They are monsters.
The creator of it was an insect collector, and that's where his idea of Pokemon came from.
Yeah.
Was collecting bugs.
Collecting bugs sounds infinitely more fun than collecting Pokemon, in my opinion. How do you collect bugs?
The people, what's the term for it?
How do you do that without like a museum? Because you have to have all different
etymology?
fucking ecosystems.
Oh, I think they were preserving
And a lot of money.
dead bugs.
Oh, dead bugs is a different story.
That's like the thing where you have like the big thing where it's like each bug
Right.
on
Yeah.
your wall.
There-
Just weird.
there are
Bugs
live-
are gross.
Yeah, there are live bug collectors, but that makes more sense to me than like I want bug carcasses all over my wall.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
People do
It's
that.
different. But I'd understand like the logistics of it sound too crazy if you want to collect live bugs. That's crazy. All right.
No,
What else do we got?
What, you never made like a terrarium when you were a kid?
No, I never did that. I never did
Okay. No, we
never
had to,
did
we had to do that for like Boy Scouts and stuff like that. Is you just no, you get like a plastic box that you
Put some trees in
plants in, and
put some
yeah, and then
leaves.
you just go catch a bug and throw it in there, like,
Yeah,
and then you do that exponentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just costs money. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
thinking. Like you catch like a fucking super rare, like weird insect, and it only eats like banana leaves. It's like, all right, how do I keep this thing alive? Okay, let's talk about the Switch Pro, which is rumored to have a 7-inch 720p OLED screen. Dun, 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 dun. About time, getting rid of the plastic screen.
And 4K resolution.
4K res on the dock. Yeah.
Which is going to be,
sorry.
if it is really 4K, it's going to be upscaled 4K, of course.
Yeah, probably, and it'll probably have a new chip, hopefully. But like, okay, this is why I'm booing though. Hell yeah, for going to the OLED screen over the plastic screen. And I know you're doing 720p for battery life, but like, man, just make it smaller. Like the Switch Lite screen looks better because it is smaller. I don't need you to make the screen stretch the screen even more and keep the resolution dog shit.
I'm curious to see, because in handheld mode, I feel like a lot of games rarely even get to 720p. I'm curious if the 720 is like a forced 720 where it's always 720. I mean, the OLED screen is going to make it look way, way better.
It'll look a lot
Way
better,
better.
I mean, if it can,
And you'll be able to watch
if
Netflix on it, actually,
If it can run 720p across the board, because there are so many games where it'll run variable, so you get anywhere between like, I think what's some of the worst, 420p on some games.
I mean, Astral Chain goes to like 480, 520.
Yeah, if you can hit 720 across the board, like that's your baseline, solid. I mean, that's great.
Now, are they
tell me how your battery's
that's
gonna
great
hold
too.
that up though.
Well, no, 720p is not. That's what I don't get about how bad the Switch. Right, I know that's Nintendo's fault. That's not the fact that it's a 720p screen's fault.
No, I know.
But
yeah, like your iPhone is like some Android phones are like 4K and they go all day. You know what I mean? On a much smaller battery.
There's that, but that used to always be the argument of getting a 1080p phone over a 1440p phone as it increases battery life. But even then, you're still talking like
at least 8 hours.
Okay, so it's a smaller product that still lasts 10 hours, and you're talking about the difference between 10 hours and 15 hours. Like,
do you
not?
I don't know how it works. I'm a Samsung. I'm still using my Note 10 Plus with the fast charging, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Switch be able, like a Pro, be able to handle a fast charging option?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Then I think it needs that.
It needs a lot.
Like that's what I'm saying is like.
But it is cheap.
All of these things are very possible and wouldn't make the Switch that much more expensive. It's just Nintendo's bad at consoles.
Well, I think you're talking about a $500 device now. If you have an OLED screen, say it's 1080p, you got like a legit battery.
I don't even want it 1080. I'm fine with it being 720. I just I like the Switch Lite. Like I agree with the idea of if you're keeping it 720p, especially for battery life, shrink it, don't expand it.
Yeah, so what's the screen now on the regular Switch? Is it 5 inches? I don't know what the size is.
It's 5 going towards 6.
5.6, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's.
I like the Switch size.
It's closer to 6.
I like the Switch size.
I do too, but like
it's in the article.
That's why I'm worried about it. Getting that much bigger, and it's still 720. Like you're talking about a 720p tablet at this point.
The Lite is 5.5. The Switch is 6.2.
Okay, so it's not that much bigger. It's just a little bit. Maybe they're shrinking the bezels. Honestly, maybe that's what they're doing.
That's the idea. Is that they're gonna have a thinner bezel. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it wouldn't make it too much bigger.
With that, but I think the Switch Lite nailed the size slightly better, to be honest, especially for the screen.
And then on top of that, you've got the Reset Era industry insider Nate Drake reporting that the system will be home to a handful of exclusive titles which won't appear on the standard Nintendo Switch, similar to what happened with the new Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There will be some select exclusives, especially from third-party partners. It may not be a big number of them, but I know of at least one.
Wow. So maybe this is
it's a bit of
100. Maybe
hard
this is an
sell.
actual. Maybe this is actually going to happen then.
It's just weird that it'll have exclusive titles.
It's not weird because
And then it did
Nintendo has done it
not- well,
before.
Yeah, it's done it before, and it didn't really work out that well for them. There were 6 titles altogether for the new Nintendo 3DS that were exclusive.
Nintendo
to that system.
doesn't do a lot of things that don't make sense and don't
And
really
on top
work
of
out.
that, you're definitely hampering your sales because you have an install base for the Switch of what now, like 60 million?
Yep.
67. How many lifetime sales of the Switch is there out
Yeah,
there?
but if you do it first, you'll still get it sold because that'll be the only game.
I feel like
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like a lot of these people are gonna want to upgrade in the next at least 2-3 years. You know,
It depends on what the title is.
these
If it's a
batteries
title
like
that's
they go in like a year. These batteries do not hold up.
if it's an exclusive third party title that's like
Well, dude, and it's also a bigger
crazy
part too.
exciting,
Is
then maybe. But
new
if
Joy-Cons.
it's Doom, I don't care.
New Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
100,000%, please, for the love of fucking God, new Joy-Cons.
You think that's gonna fix?
The batteries in the Joy-Cons are dog shit.
You think that'll fix the
the
drifting?
drift is dog shit.
not gonna
Everything
fix the
about it
drifting.
is dog shit.
They're not gonna make new Joy-Cons. I doubt it.
I know they're not. But
I
like
bought new
that's where
Joy-Cons.
that's my argument for getting the new one is like, all right, so I already got to spend $100 on Joy-Cons. Why don't I just buy a new fucking Switch if it's out?
I spent the $70 on Joy-Cons to get the new Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword ones.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I kind of want to try those hoary
I don't
ones.
know. They look good.
The hoary ones that look like pieces of
That's all
Xbox.
they'll ever do.
I had a buddy of mine.
They
reach out to
do
me.
look good, and they'll sit there and they'll look good, and they'll last a year, and they'll still look good, but that's all they'll be.
I had a buddy reach out to me. He's like, I wonder if so many Joy-Cons are drifting because people just abuse their controllers. And I was like,
No.
I use the Pro controller mostly. Like I only use the Joy-Cons when I'm playing in handheld, which is not that often. And they're drifting after like 4 years. So
My old ones
dude,
didn't
it's not
drift,
even
but
that-
they
it's
just
not even
stopped
that.
working. My old ones stopped
Yeah,
working.
like I had to open one up and then kind of like soft reset it because the battery in them too is actually trash.
even my
Two of ours barely even charge nowadays.
even my Pro controller drifts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues with my Pro controller, but
I
my
even
old
need to open
Joy-Cons.
it up.
I haven't
or
had any
try to
issues.
No, I
recalibrate.
lied. No, I did have an issue with it. I had to replace a Pro controller. Yeah, I
haven't
actually
had
had
an issue
to.
with my third party, not made by Nintendo piece of trash $20 controller. That's never not fucked up.
Well, that's what I was saying. I kind of want to try those hoary ones that look like the Xbox controllers, but they're the third party ones.
That's what I use. It
Remember
always worked.
Yeah, I want to try
Remember
this.
when the Switch was announced?
Literally exactly what I use is that shitty Hori controller.
Remember
Yeah,
when the Switch was announced and they made the whole hullabaloo about HD Rumble,
yeah.
and then nobody ever used it? I'm really hoping that's not how haptic feedback goes on the PS5.
No, I think there's a lot more use case for it on the PlayStation.
It's a selling point
way
that
better.
they made when they started it, and it can do it, but
Well, all the first party
until
Nintendo
PS5
games use it.
come out, I guess.
It's just
Dude.
the third part. You play a lot of like indie titles. They're not really taking advantage of it. You know?
I will say,
I'm gonna be honest with you. That is always like one of the first things I turn off in a game if I can.
Really?
Straight up. Hell yeah.
I generally
I'm
don't
like-
use Rumble either.
I'm sorry, dude. If I'm playing like a first person
I love it.
shooter, no, I am not
See,
getting anything out of it.
I-
I'm holding a controller. I'm not holding a gun. Please don't
See, I
make my
played-
hands rumble for no reason.
I love it. I think it's
I
awesome.
played the Astros Playroom demo, and that was like
Blows your
okay,
mind.
I really like how the controller feels with this haptic feedback and the triggers. I will say that there is a third-party title that I'm very excited for, and I understand that nobody probably is. Scarlet Nexus, which is an anime style game from the the God Eater creators, Bandai Namco, and Microsoft's been pushing it a lot. Like they're the ones doing the marketing for it, but the game's coming out to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and I think PC. But they specifically mentioned in November that it will on PS5 utilize the haptic triggers, which is like for me one of the. I mean, I'm gonna get it on PS5 anyway, but that's a selling point. Like I want to see what that technology does, because the HD Rumble on the Switch seemed cool, and then it was lame.
I thought it was pretty cool. It's just
It was never really utilized well.
well, there's not
even
many
by first
games. I
party.
don't know. I feel like there's just not many first party games.
You can tell how
On the
many ice
Switch.
cubes are in the Joy-Con.
Like in Zelda, it worked great. In Mario Odyssey, it worked great.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
two
that's about
games.
it.
It's 2 games.
But there's 2 games out for the Switch. What other games are there? Other than like indie titles. I mean, I mainly play indie title and Smash. Like it works pretty good on Smash too.
No, I mean I'd play GameCube with no rumbles, so
Yeah. And on PlayStation, I mean the Astros Playroom, it's fucking insane. It's so cool. So yeah.
that's the thing. Is like,
I mean, have you done it with
it's-
Call of Duty? Every gun feels different. It's really cool.
I would like. I mean, if I wanted to do it with Call of Duty, it'd be great. But I don't feel like utilizing my entire hard drive on one game.
It
Yeah.
getting better, it getting better like that. So there's actually a difference would help. Like,
Maybe when they
definitely-
start
that definitely
releasing,
helps a ton. But like, dude, I'm
Maybe
playing,
when
I'm playing Call of
Sony-
Duty. I genuinely will never think I actually have a gun in my hands.
I
need
might
haptic
play.
feedback to going. "Boo."
I might play Warzone again if they release a SSD hard drive expansion that I could just dedicate to Warzone.
Yeah.
And it's God knows how large its file size is these days. I don't even know anymore. It's
It's
probably
huge.
over 100 gigs.
Oh, it's easily over
Oh,
100.
it's way
Fuck
over.
that.
Are you kidding me?
It's
Fuck that.
huge.
I'm not wasting that much space on that.
It's huge. Yes, I'm excited for Switch Pro. We've been talking about this for years, man. We've been talking
Imagine
about this.
having a digital only PlayStation 5 and going, do I keep Warzone or do I get 5 games?
All right. Anything else in gaming media? Anything like that? I think that's it.
There was the Elden Ring leak, but don't know
Oh,
if
I
you saw
haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, there was footage from an Elden Ring trailer that leaked online. That,
Oh.
Does it look good?
The
Couldn't
only
find the
other thing I can
article.
think of is Valheim's at almost 10 million copies sold.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Oh,
The
yeah.
game's pretty dope.
I don't know. I
It's
have,
not
I have to
for
play
me,
it
but-
again. I was kind of bored by it actually. I was kind of.
I mean,
I felt like Minecraft did a better job at giving you things to do.
it's not Minecraft.
No, I know,
That's
but
the
I just
thing,
I
you know what I mean. Like it's more like Rust. You know what I mean? Where like that kind of survival game where it does a lot of things way better than Rust, and I think there is a lot to do. It just doesn't tell you to do it because it's early access.
yeah.
I'm gonna put it in
Like
the
you have to
Discord.
be interested in it, and it's exploration. You know what I mean? Because you'll go find what you have to do more than it will tell you.
Yeah, that's
to
what I
do.
felt like I was doing a lot of the time. I was just like walking around. And I felt like the map was kind of boring. It wasn't a very exciting map. And I was
mean,
like,
the
eh.
intro zone. Yeah, did he ever make it? How far did he?
I got
make
to
it?
an area where there's a big ass golem. He killed me, and I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. I don't know what area this
so
was
you're a
in.
bitch.
I just,
No,
I don't
played
know.
it- played
I
quite a
felt
bit.
it was kind of.
I'll also say it's definitely more fun with other people than it is a solo game.
Yeah, that's what I see. That's what it seems like.
But like, there's actually a shit ton of content in it for that type of survival game. But yeah, it's not laid out in a way that you would like. Unless you're used.
You have to
that
like
style
know.
of game.
You have to like wiki it. You have to
Unless you're
wiki a
used
bunch
to
of
that
shit.
style of game, you're just not gonna think of how to find what you're doing next, other than like they'll tell you there's bosses. Like all the boss fights are actually great. That's what I've been having a shit ton of fun with, because like the boss fights in it and also some of the harder fights are like, I don't want to say Souls, but they're like they're in
No, they're like
that
Souls
kind
like.
of-
It's like a Souls
kinda,
meets. Yeah, I guess like a
they're in
Rust
that kind of
Minecraft.
idea of just like, no, they're hard as shit.
Yeah,
Like straight up.
but it just doesn't
And,
have like the
but once you-
fluidity of a
once
Souls.
you learn it, it's easy. So I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, maybe
Because
I
if you
just
gotta-
need to
if you gotta-
get deeper into
You
it.
can do some cool shit.
I play like maybe like 8 to 10 hours of it, and then I was like, what?
Yeah,
I
like
was like,
that's-
I
that's
really didn't
part
do
of the-
anything. I feel like I didn't get anywhere.
Probably because that's like part of the issue is like a lot of that game is at the moment pretty grindy.
Yeah, it is.
Like-
Yeah.
But I like that, but I can see why that's also not for everyone. Or like I ended up making a cool castle base because I unlocked stone building, and I unlocked iron, and I unlocked
Yeah, how long does it take to
silver.
do that? To get to like stone housing?
Honestly, it's not that hard, but you have to have someone who knows how to do it. Like actually trying to find it is kind of annoying.
So, when can you kill the first boss? That's kind of my question. I didn't know when I should
From the
have.
start.
The
First boss is easy as shit.
the deer, right?
Yeah, the deer boy's easy as shit.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
can
know
dodge
when to
everything.
go after him because it was like upgrade your stuff, and I got to like all like the upgrades on my character, and I was like, should I fight him now? I was like, I just got whopped by this fucking golem guy. Am I gonna be able to take this?
You'll start
Loss?
getting to a point where like all the trolls stuff like that are easy as hell. Like everything in that game is easy except for Death Skeetos, the
Death
Death
goblin
Skeetos. What a
dudes.
name.
That's pretty
Death
cool.
Yeah,
Skeetos.
dude,
That's
they're
a
Death
dope name.
Skeetos. Dude, they're fucking giant mutant mosquitoes that just wreck your shit.
Sounds
But yeah, no, like it gets a lot harder, but like it is kind of soulsy in that way of like once you learn, oh, this is how I beat it, it's super easy.
Mm. No,
So,
I
like,
love the
replay-wise-
Souls aspect of it. I do think that it is early access, so I'm curious to see how
Yeah.
far they took. Because
Like,
I did find the
that's what I was
combat a
so
little
surprised.
janky. Like
Yeah,
I felt the
it's
arrow
not-
shooting was like way too. I don't know. Weird.
It gets better, and that's part of where I think there is a little bit too much grind because it's all character progression based.
Yeah, you have
So
to fucking sit there and just
character
pluck
is-
arrows all day to make
Yeah,
it any
like,
sort of accurate.
It's
It is
got a
fun
little bit
plucking
too
like a
much-
deer like a mile away with like a big arrow drop, and then you hit him.
Yeah.
That is fucking really cool. And then you get the little.
Like, it's got a little bit too much RuneScape-y like elements in it where it's like, no, if you sit there and like just shoot arrows at a tree for 8 hours or something, they'll take damage. Like, and you get your arrows, your bow skill up to like 60, it's life changing.
Yeah.
Because like once you start getting towards like the 60s to and then like even at the 90s, which I think would take straight weeks, honestly. It's absurd. I mean, it doesn't actually take that long, but it's kind of RuneScape in that sense of like if you want to grind a skill to 99, it's gonna take you 48 hours real play time.
Yeah.
But if you get to that point, your stamp like it's how the circle slowly shrinks as you're draining stamina.
Mm-hmm.
That's just instant.
Yeah.
It's like it turns into an FPS basically.
At level 60.
No, like 90s, but like it
Oh,
starts getting
oh.
a lot better.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the more your skill goes up, it actually does have huge translatable effects, but it's too much of a grind for me to do it.
I do like how you like find different recipes. Like I really, because I like that about Minecraft, where you're just like, what does this make? And then you kind of make something fun. And that's where I was having a lot of the fun. I wasn't having a lot of the fun like exploring. I thought the map design, at least in the first few areas, I was like, this is kind of not really.
What was the last
There's so many
game
of these
you
little
played?
fucking troll dudes.
What was the last game you
You
played with
just
the
got ripped by
exploration?
trolls, dude. They're easy. You just got to get a bow and dodge.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the last game you played where the exploration was like not just the selling point, but like almost the highlight of the game for you? Just
Minecraft.
seeing what the world offered.
Minecraft. And that because I was a late
me,
Minecraft guy. Like I didn't stop.
For me,
This year I
I
started
think-
playing Minecraft.
For me, I think Valheim gets a lot of that, but that's mostly when you unlock boats.
Mm-hmm.
Because the world is actually massive.
Yeah, it's huge. It is
But
huge.
You need to unlock boats, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's
Like once you
my-
finally get that boat, you're like, this is cool because you start finding the other biomes and like the harder biomes, but then also there's just randomly storms that can fuck you up, but there's also literally giant turtles that swim through that you can jump on and try to attack to get shell armor from, but they'll also fuck you up, and there's also literal sea serpents that you have to fight.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's fun. But if you're just running around, it's
Yeah.
For me, I think it's Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild. Both then they came out at the same time. I really liked exploring those worlds.
Yeah, I would
And
agree. Those
seeing
two
all
games.
the environments, and it's for much as hate as I'll give like Assassin's Creed lately. Like when the Assassin's Creed formula of the watchtowers unlocks more of the map, And you see why it works really well and why it's been copied so many times.
It's
It's
fun.
just a really great tool for exploration. It gives you another key point to go towards, but to also look around that area before you unlock it.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say
I think
Horizon
Horizon did a
and
really good job at that.
yeah, Breath of the Wild too. But I feel like the biggest knock against Breath of the Wild is kind of the world. A lot of it's just empty. So at least with like Horizon, there was so much little shit that you can find like in the nooks and crannies. That's what I like. Like
Yeah,
Witcher
that's
3 is a great example. Like you can just like in the corner of a world, you'll find this weird thing that gives you a quest, and it's a really in-depth quest. That's where like I think the
yeah,
world of Witcher 3 gives it that Witcher 3 status.
yeah. Breath of the Wild definitely has some of the highlights are those places, but they are few and far in between.
Yeah.
I think like back to what's it called? There's the island that you go to, and when you land on it, it takes away all of your gear, and it's like, no, you have to learn now to do this whole island from level 1 again, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really cool quest to stumble on,
Yeah.
but that's only one, and it's
There's not many of that.
so far away. Yeah,
there's not
there's
much
not
of
a lot like that.
You're really
It's, I
just
mean,
unlocking the map on your
Yeah.
map basically.
like
Honestly,
finding the lost woods for the first time, that was really cool. Like finding the two different labyrinths, that was really cool.
I think
Just stumbling
I think,
upon
too,
them.
the game type like matters to me, I guess, in a weird way. Where like I do kind of agree that I like the Minecraft exploration a little bit better, but like especially for RPGs, I think The Witcher 3 did a great job because while the story is going one way, you still make choices, and for some reason, just like adding choices makes the world actually matter to me. But like that would be my knock where like Horizon Zero Dawn did a really cool world and I really enjoyed it. But like games like that where it's just like it's an RPG, but you follow a linear, like a game where you follow a linear path, I'm much less interested in exploring.
Yeah.
I think for me is I'm a side quest hound, right? I like doing tons of side quests, which is why
I like that too, but
Horizon
like
Zero Dawn has a bunch of them, and why Witcher 3 definitely is. That game is like almost entirely side quests.
Yeah.
yeah, but like I mean to me like that's sort of the difference is like do you like the side quests or do you like the exploration? Because I think that's two different things too, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's where I think like
I think it's better when they're tied
Assassin's
together.
Creed I fair, but like for me it's like Assassin's Creed I never give a fuck.
Well, it's like you
stuff
unlocked
like
an
that
area,
gets-
but now you can just teleport to it and do the side quest, and the side quest is boring. It's not like what I really like about the exploration of Minecraft and like Valheim. It's like you have to actually. There's no unlocking like a big portion of the map. You have to actually like walk around and unlock it yourself. And I do
you
like
can get
the
portals in Valheim, but you have to go there first.
yeah, but does it unlock like on your map like a big? You know how when you do like a watchtower in Legend of Zelda,
You still have to move out.
yeah, you have to like
move
find
over.
it yourself, and I like that aspect too, because it forces you to just look at everything. So that, I mean, like that's kind of why I think I don't know the exploration aspect has to be if you want to make like an exploration game, you have to make it like really part integral to the game design. Otherwise, it's just like you're just unlocking Fog of War at that point, you know.
Yeah, when your watchtowers, for lack of a better word, become just this is my fast travel. It's much less interesting.
Yeah.
At that
well, I
point,
mean,
it's just a fast travel.
there's something about it too, though, to me that like if it's an open-ended game, I'm way more interested in exploring than. But if it's again going back to like that Horizon Zero Dawn, like I think they'd made a really cool world, and I explored a bit to learn more about it, but I never went super hard into it because it's like, well, the story goes this way and the game has a finite end, so I'm not as interested in finding that little corner of the world. And that I'm just using that as an example, but like any game that has finite ending, I am much less interested at all to like.
That's why Witcher 3 I think did it perfect because it was like I have to explore because I'll find a weird monster that'll give me this, or a weird quest that'll give me this specific armor that you can only find if you explore this area and you find it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get a quest that says go here, get this armor. You have to just stumble upon it, and it forces you to kind of look around. And yeah,
Or like Horizon, I did explore a good amount, but that was for like books. I was exploring for lore. You know what I mean? And I think they did a good job there. But like, it's the same idea of like Assassin's Creed. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to like cruise through the story as fast as I can, to be honest. Like, any of those games that are like too heavy on story, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I like heavy story games, but like I genuinely could not be fucked to go explore.
And that's where I was with like Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I liked the game, the story was great, but the world it looked beautiful, but really boring.
it's like nothing to do.
Explore.
Yeah.
It's very empty, and that game could have benefited from a turbo button. I always argue that. Because when you're swimming and you're just swimming for 5 straight like real minutes to go to this island, and then you get to the island and there's nothing on it.
Yeah, that sucks.
It just feels like a defeat.
Yeah.
It just feels lame.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Fallout, like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, like those kinds of games do really good at that and making you want to explore because
Yeah.
you play.
Yeah,
because you'll go to that.
for the first
You'll
time.
spend
you
5
have
minutes going to that island, but there will actually be cool shit on that island.
Well, I mean, there'll be cool shit on it, but you have to explore to create the ending that you want. Like, all of those games are open-ish ending where it's like, okay, well, I like Fallout 4, there's 6 different sides I can choose from, or like Elder Scrolls, you can be the good guy that saves everything, or you can kill everyone, and then there's a civil war that you can join multiple sides on, you know what I mean? Like, there's tangible things that like get you to explore because you want to do this or that and choose that side.
Yeah.
But if it's on rails, then
The problem is those games are so few and far between.
Oh, yeah.
We really only have a handful of those games. I would love more of them, but I understand. I mean, it's probably
maybe open world Pokemon.
yeah.
Be
At
solid.
11 frames a
probably
second.
not. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely still enjoy it, but that's also I'm not going to probably play it because, I mean, I'll play it, but I'm not going to explore a ton because it's going to be, well, go defeat the Elite Four and become the master.
I don't think there's going to be an Elite Four in it.
Oh, really? That'd be interesting.
I mean, it's supposed to be set like before there's even like like big towns. There's not even an Elite Four yet. There's probably no Victory Road yet.
All right,
You are the first. You are the maker. You play this game, and then you find out the end game is you have to brick by brick make Victory Road.
The funny part for me is like looking back at dialogue. Somebody pointed this out. There's a character in one of the Pokemon games that's like, "I'm so old. I remember when we didn't have Pokeballs." And then this game's like, "Said hundreds of years before. Here are the primitive Pokeballs." It's like, wait. So how old are you?
Yes.
You're 1,000?
All right, let's Doobie, we're gonna talk about some cameras here. If you want to either join us or say your piece.
You guys talk about cameras. It's fine. I don't know anything about it.
All right, Doobie. We'll catch you later. Thank you for joining us. All right, so we have camera news, which is exciting. The first big one. Well, let's talk about the FX3 first, because I think the FX3 came out first, right? Came out before the A1.
Came out last.
It came out after.
A1 came out first.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about the A1 then. A1
came out last.
is the R1 Canon competitor. It's the 1DX. It's the be all end all of Sony mirrorless technology. 8K, 4K 120, 30 frames per second on its 50 megapixel sensor. It's a fucking beast. Same sort of design that we all know and expect from the Sony bodies, which is kind of unfortunate. Some people really like that, but in my opinion, it would have been nice to see a little bit of a change in design. Same tilt, shitty tilt screen, but you get a better EVF. And really, this is just like, this is, well, it's $6,500. This is a professional tool for professional photographers who need some videography involved as well. And
I think the video stuff does actually really well on it, but
yeah, it looks great.
why would you buy this over something else? And
Yeah. The only reason would be for the 8K, but is it necessary to make? You're not buying this for the 8K. You're buying this for the 50 megapixel sensor, 30 frames per second, and then the 8K is that that icing on the cake. I honestly think like this design though is really kind of holding Sony back. Like I would have loved to see the 1DX sort of like give me a big old fucking honking thing. You know what I mean? Throw a big fat battery thing in there. I guess you can get the grip on it, but it would have been nice to just have it all like a bit like a tank. This is $6,500. That's pretty fucking expensive. Not really exciting to me that much. I think mainly because of the design. If it would have had a fresh design, maybe I would have been more partial to it. But this has been a design that we've had for like 10 years now,
And it's too small. In my opinion, like I don't know. That's my knock against ergonomics of Sony's is they're just, and this is from a Fuji person, so I mean I don't know. I shouldn't talk about it of being too small, but there's just something about it being full frame when you slap on it like actual proper lens. I don't like it.
Yeah, it needs to be more balanced and like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now
But,
the specs, like
the actual camera wise, it's a fantastic camera.
yeah, the quality from it is amazing. I mean, it's Sony's best technology yet, which is awesome to see. It's cool. It is cool. It's just like, all right, well, I guess we got to wait another year or so before we see some sort of like fresh take on their mirrorless. I was expecting like since this is their flagship, they're gonna come out with a fresh design, a fresh thing to it. But it's like, all right, well,
That's fair.
I guess we're gonna get just a spec upgrade here. That's their best, but it is still just a spec upgrade.
How's this been for 8K overheating?
I don't think it's too much of an issue. I think you get like over an hour of 8K recording on this. It's 820.
But it's in a small body. How do you manage that?
Sony's got that fucking nice old heat sink. Go figure. You put a heat sink on your camera, it's not going to overheat as fast. And that's with the standard. I mean, I think if you, actually, I think if you turn it on the high, it still overheats in like an hour and a half or something. But that's still like, you're going to fill your card up by that time. It's not the 1500 megabits per second 8K that a Canon has. It is a little bit more limited than that. I don't know the exact specs of the bit rate, but it doesn't matter. It still looks great.
Looks absolutely fantastic. It still looks fantastic. Like straight up. Who cares at that point? Like I would argue I want the same thing on Canon where like, hey, if I can get it, if that gives me an hour more shooting time by just dropping a couple of 100 megabytes when you're already talking over 1,000, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
But if you're a photo person, I think it's a sick camera. Because like that's what I always didn't like about the A9 series was it was 20 frames per second, but sort of, and only with like Sony lenses that work with it specifically, you could get 20 with autofocus, and this actually looks like no, you're 30, dude. Just fucking go.
Yeah.
So that's pretty.
At 50
sick.
megapixels, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Like my counter argument to that was just film a video, but like that. I mean, if you have specific use cases for that, especially like some sports applications and stuff like that, that's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not interested in this camera. I'm not gonna pretend.
Yeah, the megabits per second.
It's sick.
The video specs here are 8K 420 10-bit 400 megabits per second. It says 400 to 200, so it's like a variable bit rate. And then 4K is the 200 megabits per second. I think
that is a little weak.
200 megabits per second on 120 frames, 100 megabits per second, 24 frames. So you're getting that same sort of like Sony. Yeah. You're getting that same sort of like Sony. I mean, it looks good, but you're still getting that 420 Sony look. I don't know how to explain it. You can see it. Like a lot of tech channels use Sony now, and you can kind of tell like they're using a Sony. It doesn't have that sort of like juiciness to the color. It's okay. It's not. It's not. You can work around that, but you're not getting that fat bit rate that some other like higher end like cinema cameras have, and that
Yeah, dude,
Canon has been using.
That high-end Fuji camera with 400 megabits per second.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Oh, it only costs $900.
You are getting Cinetone in this, which is cool. I love the Cinetone look. Not log isn't the be all end all. Sometimes it's nice to have a Cinetone look, like especially when you want to just drop down, like, hey, I just want to shoot something quick, 4K 24.
If you're doing YouTube, pretty nice.
Yeah, and it looks like they like tweaked their color science again a little bit. I'm curious to see how it matches up with the S3. Things look a lot better on this camera than they do on the S3 in terms of color. The S3 does look a little bit yellow compared to this one when I saw videos side by side. Overall it's a pretty beefy flagship Sony. It's pretty cool to see. Let's get a new design going. Let's get some better ergos. Let's get a flip. Let's get a better screen in general, because the screen is just trashed here.
If you got $6,000 blowing a hole in your pocket, it's a phenomenal camera.
Yeah.
I'm not a photo person, so I wouldn't buy this camera.
Yeah, me either.
But like, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Gotta give them props for it.
Now, what I think is really fascinating, which is like, this is kind of where a lot of contention has been, was with the FX3. It's essentially the same exact camera as the A7S III, except a little bit more expensive, a little bit smaller. There's no viewfinder, and they threw a bunch of quarter 20s on there.
Yeah.
I like it,
and it's better in every way.
I like
every
it,
single way.
I don't know. It's thicker.
I do wish it would have a way to add an EVF. That's my only gripe with it. But again, going back to that, I don't take a ton of pictures. Yes, literally any camera, if you stick quarter 20s all over it, it is instantly a better camera by default.
The way that they do the handle too,
and I personally don't think it's more expensive, and it's because it includes the handle.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
like it includes the handle that
so it makes
also has a built-in XLR with it. Like, yeah, that's it. That's the price of getting the XLR kit for the 7S3 anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is actually a good point. And it's cool the way that the handle like just jacks right into the camera. You don't have to buy a fucking cage for. I think it's pretty fucking cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. Having a cinema Sony, like, there's benefits to that. It doesn't have the NDs, of course, which sucks. But there is a benefit to having that cinema Sony. Some people say that there isn't. Some people are gonna say like it's the exact same thing as an S3. So why would you spend?
And it is.
Why would you lose a viewfinder for a handle?
It depends on what your use case is. For me, I wish there was a way to add a viewfinder, but the top handle is actually more useful to me than the viewfinder.
Yeah, an XLR jack, having quarters all over it. It's pretty fucking rad. It's just a pretty rad
the built-in
camera.
Cage actually, because
and in a year or two, this is gonna be like $3,000, $2,500. That's a steal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. They get a Sony Cinema with 4K 120, 422 10-bit. You're still getting the Sony. This is with that updated color too.
You can still do the raw out. You still have S-Cinetone on it. You have the new color science. You have the new menus. You have all of the flaws of Sony.
A fat
and then
fucking HDMI on there.
The biggest, right, full size. But then the biggest flaw that I still have with Sony is ergonomic wise. But if you have it covered in quarter 20s, cool, I can fix that in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like.
And it's just like a nice little chunky thing, man. It's a nice little chunky boy with a flip screen.
Yeah, that thing gets down to like $3,000. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like hell yeah.
$4,000. It like at $4,000. It's a little bit tricky because there is the A7S III, and would I choose this over the A7S III? It's tough. I don't know. If I'm
buying new, yes.
I'd want to kind of actually use both of them before I made that decision. Because I do like the idea of something a little chunky with quarter 20s on it. Like, there's that usability aspect is huge. You know what I mean? The fact that I could just plug something right into it, and you have the XLR handle with it. That's pretty fucking rad.
It's got quarter 20s all over it, so I could literally just fucking mount it into the wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's so cool, and like, yeah, it's pretty fucking rad, man. You throw like that small sort of like 24 on it, and you throw it on a gimbal, and it's just like this easy little gimbal thing. It's pretty cool. Sony's really doing some cool shit. For all intents and
purposes, it is the same camera. It's literally the same fucking camera.
Yeah, the same exact sensor, the same exact everything. But they're cinema.
Which started a good camera.
Yeah.
But you make, for at least for me personally, like I like this because I also really like the C70 body. The C70 bodies are really fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But this is, I wouldn't say better, but I almost like it more because I can use it more.
It's a lot smaller than the C70 for sure.
And I'm not the biggest fan of the smaller body cameras. I do like because you can build them up, and that's what I do. But it's worth paying extra to me to be like, okay, cool, I can make this a usable, good grip, like ergonomic wise camera. But since it's quarter 20s, I can tear it all down, and then it's just a tiny little box I can hide.
Yeah. Yeah, it does suck dealing with a cage. I have a cage on my camera, and I have to take it off every once in a while, and it's just like, man, it would be nice if this could just plug right into my camera.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's like, I didn't expect Sony to do that. You know what I mean? Like, they were just like, let's take the A7S III, rip off the viewfinder, put a handle, and then put some jacks on it. Okay,
this is the
I'm down.
shitty little black magic square that I've been saying, give me, please.
I know. Like, if Black Magic had something like this, but was like at Black Magic prices, that'd be rad. But now you're getting Sony IBIS and Sony autofocus, which is awesome.
You win some, you lose some.
And then we have.
I'm assuming it works with the gyro stuff too. So like.
Yeah, it does. It has the gyro data, which is awesome.
I get why some people don't like it because you could just go buy a 7S III, but like, if you like the 7S III, I don't get why you wouldn't like this, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different use case.
I would be happy with either of them.
Yeah, this is very specific to someone who wants something like this, where the S3 is like pretty much anyone can use it, anyone can enjoy it. But this is like, if you have like a little bit more of a tailored use case, well, Sony's got it for you. Like, boom, here you go.
And that's what I want, because like, this is always my thing with like getting a 7S III is like, everyone's like, oh yeah, 12 megapixels sucks for photo, this or that. And I'm like, no, it doesn't suck for photos, but I'm not going to use it as a photo cam.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I never intended to use it as a hybrid.
Yeah.
I have Fuji for that. I have, like, if I want a very pretty picture.
I don't think I wouldn't even call it a hybrid. It's definitely a video camera.
I mean, it's more, but it's still semi-hybrid, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, depending on what your use case is for it, it's a hybrid.
I
don't buy into the 12 megapixels isn't enough bullshit.
I don't think it's enough. Like, I don't think it's nearly enough. But you're not really buying it for the photo. You're buying it because, you want the video stuff. The photo stuff is like, if I just need like a thumbnail here and there, then I have that capability.
I mean, yeah, but like I'm going to be honest, that's 90% of the pictures. So like, that's where I think it is enough, where it's like 90% of pictures I am taking, it's not even getting blown up past 10 inches. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's enough.
So then we have the R1 rumors, which is Canon's flagship. We're still waiting on this fucking update as well. The update was supposed to be out in February, according to Canon rumors, and then they stated that Canon they pushed it back because of whatever reason. It's just not ready yet, I guess. The updates for the R5.
Been able to get their R5 and R6 yet.
Yeah. And now we have some more specifications here. There's a few other Canon stuff, but the R1 is really the big one. 85 megapixel global shutter, which is...
That would be sick.
That would be fucking insane. Approximately 80 megapixels at 20 frames per second, 21 at 40 frames per second, unlimited continued shooting. Which makes sense because they use the new CFast Express thing, which is, I mean, it's barely being tapped into. Full sensor, large quad pixel autofocus, so Canon autofocus, 15.5 dynamic range, which, we'll see. ISO up to 163,000, 5-axis IBIS, and then a 3.5 inch, 9.3 megapixel 1200 nit 10-bit WCG RGB OLED touchscreen with 120 hertz refresh rate, which I mean, it's basically like a cell phone display, which I've always wanted to see on a camera,
do,
but
and
3.5 inches, obviously not huge.
Yeah, I do and I don't, because I mean, okay, so it should be in 1DX style. It should have 3 batteries, but God, I want like 6 more if you're gonna actually put a decent screen on it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this would, how
Like-
this is. I mean, that would be sick if you had an OLED screen
That would
on
be
your
sick.
camera. That
It'd
would be fucking
amazing, but I
awesome.
also do worry, like, can I do power delivery over USB-C? Then hell yeah, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I am curious to see how that works. And then the price is rumored to be around $9,000, $8,500. So with tax, you're probably touching 9,000, which is a tremendous amount of money. But an 85 megapixel global shutter, what the fuck? That's insanity. That's insanity. That would be really cool. Now, Canon
it'd
Rumors
be cool.
states that there's no way. So, but there are other people that are saying like these rumors are pretty legit, and it is possible. I mean, this has been, they've been talking about doing this for a while, this type of camera for a while. But so it's interesting to see, like, you know, this is a 0 rating on Canon Rumors, but other people have stated, like, you know, credible people have stated like this could possibly be an actuality. We'll see if this is something that's this year. Now, in my opinion, Canon really, does Canon need something like this? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's really interesting to see how Canon thinks of like what it needs to do, because I foresee Canon in a different realm, and they kind of just always do their own thing. So it's not out of the question to see a completely balls to the wall, expensive R1 type thing with an OLED screen. But on the other hand, it's like, or they can kind of cut it down a little bit, you know, price it near the A1, and then you still have like a really good camera. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see. We'll see kind of how they take that.
I'd prefer if they do the second of those two options personally, just because.
Like, does it need to be 85 megapixel?
The R5 kind of like rubbed me a little bit of the wrong way of just like, I don't know, if you're gonna make a 1D, you know what I mean? I expect it. I'm fine with losing a little bit of that feature scape if it's going to be the biggest workhorse I've ever used.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that's why I would buy a 1D, is I expect it to be a tank and the most reliable thing known to man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's where you'd still expect that sort of from the 5 series. Like the 5Ds were always solid.
yeah.
So that doesn't make me worry a little bit if they go all out. Like, am I going to have to worry about how reliable it is? Because that's the argument to me of spending that much on a camera. It's cool. I'm done.
This
You know
can't
what I
have
mean?
any issues at that price. It has to
Yeah.
be flawless. It has to be flawless. It can't overheat ever. It can't, you know, the IBIS can't be wobbly for some models and not wobbly. It's got to be rock solid at $8,500 with an 85 megapixel global shutter and a fucking OLED screen on it. I mean, it's got to be a tank. Exactly.
And I mean, if they do it, hell yeah, it's amazing. I personally would never buy it, but that's the type of shooter I am. I'm not going to spend that much money on a hybrid.
Yeah.
Like if I'm spending that much money, I'm buying a cine cam and then I'm buying a nice photo cam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
I'd be very
personal
interested in
preference.
this. If these specs are correct, I'd be very interested in this at this price. The R5 might have to go, and I might get an R1. But I am I want the best hybrid camera. You know, I want.
Yeah, you want the hybrid
Yeah.
camera. I don't give a fuck about the hybrid camera.
Yeah.
Just because, like, for me, it's like if I'm going to take a picture, which I'm not that big of, I'm going to use a Fuji because I know how to use it really well, and I barely have to dig with it. And if I really even want to, I can go into JPEG and take beautiful JPEGs and just not care.
Yeah.
Because I want to do video work.
Yeah.
So I'd rather spend and get that reliable, and then just use Fuji.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, I like where Canon's headed with the hybrid aspect. I mean, they're all basically really solid hybrids. Some people, they just want, you know, the A7S III, or they want the Fuji, or they want, you know what I mean? Or if you're a photographer, then you kind of already know where you're at. You're getting like an A9 or an A1.
Or a Fuji.
Or Fuji. I mean, if you're going for an A9 I guess you get like a GFX 100 or something.
I mean, you can go that route, but I mean, there's a reason Fuji still wins a shit ton of awards for journalists.
Yeah, true.
Photographers
are weird. I mean,
always fucking sells.
They buy
It's
cameras,
great.
I find, for just whatever. Like, they hold on to one aspect of a camera, and that's why they go with that camera. That's what a lot of photographers do. Like for Fuji, it's like I want the Fuji sort of. I want a Fuji. For Canon, I want to have that Canon for, maybe I'm a wedding photographer and they want to see the red ring. For Sony, I want the best specs. For Leica, I just want to be able to shoot black and white. You know what I mean? Like, there's always like that weird sort of thing that they like to hang on to. With me, I personally, I want both aspects, balls to the wall, give it to me, because I don't want to have to carry around two bodies ever.
I think that's very fair and valid.
And I'm willing to
I'm
spend
fine
whatever
with that.
you have to give me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just because
I'd
we're not
rather
in
just
that market
spend-
where that's like a thing yet. That's like
That's true.
3,000.
Like that's more my issues. I think I'd be more on board when we see that camera.
Yeah.
Like if say the R1 comes out and it works flawlessly and it is everything we wanted and it's it actually does hit 15 DR, you know what I mean, in photo and video, then hell yeah, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll switch my stance, but that's more my issue is like,
Yeah, this is all rumors.
you want me to spend that much to like that's the issue is like, okay, I could get better dynamic range and a better image quality by buying a cine camera. And
Yeah.
then for photos, I could get the best photo camera. Like that's where I'm like, it sucks having to carry two, but it's cheaper and easier for me to do it that way and actually get the image quality I want.
Mm-hmm. There are Nikon rumors. Nikon
There
really
always
wants
are.
you to know that its flagship mirrorless camera is coming later this year. So there's a D6 upgrade coming, supposedly, and they want everyone to know. Flagship Nikon Z-Series mirrorless can be expected within the year and is being developed with the goal of surpassing the D6, which is cool. I really want Nikon to still be competitive. The D6 is an awesome
They're trying
camera.
to make their version of the R5, and I think they're trying to make an 8K super photo cam, and I'm still gonna sit here and be like, well, I'm gonna buy a Z6 original.
Yeah. I'm fascinated to see kind of how this works. But I do want Nikon to keep plugging away. I don't want to see Nikon go anywhere. I love Nikon.
Either.
I love Nikon.
Like that's literally all that scares me out of buying Nikon at the moment is like I don't have enough faith that they're gonna stick around. So I want them to stick around because if I thought they were gonna stick around and they're gonna actually keep pumping out mirrorless glass, like I'd buy a Z6 right now.
Yeah.
They're fucking grand. It's an amazing camera for $1,000.
Mm-hmm. And then what's going on in the Fuji world? Do you have any news here?
No. Lens rumors. I know they already launched their two big things. You know what I mean? They already launched the new GFX. That's $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
Which that is a talking point too. If here's a medium format camera for $6,000,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have the 8K, but it still has really good 4K, and it's medium format
Mm-hmm.
and full 10-bit with RAW.
I mean, the medium format alone, I think, is. But they need. They don't really need much with it, actually. They really don't need to do much with the GFX. I don't think that the GFX line has any issues, honestly. Like, if you're in the market for a medium format, what else are you going to get? I don't think you're going to go anywhere else with it, And, I mean, Hasselblad, maybe, and that's a completely different price bracket. I mean, that's double the price on all aspects. They're going to get a phase 1, which isn't really new anymore. It's kind of like an older thing. This phase 1, like magazine cameras. I mean, you're pretty much looking at the GFX, but it's like, mainly people want to see upgrades to like their cheaper lines. And they want to see more lenses, which seems to be, they talked about it here. DP Review conducted an interview with several Fujifilm managers. They talk about the GFX a lot. X series currently missing super telephoto lenses. Fujifilm X series started 10 years ago. Some lenses are old, have slow autofocus, no weather sealing. Fujifilm needs to refresh them. Despite COVID-19, sales of the X100V are on the same level as the X100F. XT4 was a success on the market. Great balance between price and performance. Autofocus, they're working on autofocus. And I mean, it seems like they're in a good position. They're just kind of like
Sigma's coming out with glass finally, thank God.
for Fuji.
Yeah, because they need zooms.
Yeah.
When they're talking about some of their lenses are too old, yeah, they are.
Yeah, Sigma, having a Sigma lineup is huge. People love
That's-
Sigma. 1835, Sigma 50s. Yeah. Hell yeah. It would be nice to see you on a Fuji. So they're opening the line. They're opening the mount, which is something we've asked for.
That's part of the issue of Fuji is they do make glass that's fast enough for just like keep someone on that crop factor, but it's all too expensive
Yeah.
compared to competitors' camera lines. You know what I mean?
They also said here in the headline at DP Review, we're not just a camera company. We are an imaging company. Bum, bum, bum. You're also a fucking vaccine company.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's why Fuji's gonna stick around no matter what because they actually do a lot of medical work. So their business has been great this past year.
Yeah.
No, I mean I'm interested to see the Sigma stuff because I think that will fix a lot of the flaws that Fuji has. Because that's especially if you're talking like price to performance or whatever, it's something of that type of metric. It is hard to be like, well, you got a really great deal on the camera, but if you want a 35 mil or like you want that type of focal range at like a 1.4, it's $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to Sony and buy the same price camera, you can buy a Sigma version for $350 for a 35 1.4 of pretty similar quality.
Yeah, you got to open that up.
Yeah.
Which is cool that they're doing that because hopefully now we start to see like the Laowas and like the fucking, all those other weird lens companies.
Well, Laowa's been there. Anyone that makes manual focus glass has been there. It's just not been with autofocus.
Right.
So like, it'll be good to see actual autofocus glass get there. That's fast. But yeah, no, I mean I'm excited for it. I'm interested in it, but dude, I just want an FX3. Blackmagic, they came out with their new updated Pocket Cam 6K, which is mostly just body improvements.
They also came out with the A10 Mini Extreme. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
It's got 8 inputs. It's a massive. It's not a mini anymore, but it is what it is. It's still 1080. I was really hoping to see a 4K A10 Mini.
If they do a 4K and it only had like
it doesn't even need to output 4K. Just let me record 4K, and then you can output 1080. That's all I'm asking for. Instead, they said, "Oh wait, let's just make it 8 inputs." It's like, okay, well, this is for like concerts, churches. This isn't for like your YouTuber.
It's got uses, yeah, definitely, but it's getting more and more.
It's only $1,000 too, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have loved to see just an A10 Mini ISO with a 4K recording option that doesn't involve you having to record on your Blackmagic cameras. Let me record to the SSD. But I'm sure we'll see that sometime in the fucure. I fucking love everything Blackmagic's doing. You just gotta run it
through a Ninja and record on the Ninja.
I do, but it doesn't record 4K. I mean, it looks good though. It doesn't.
No,
I want
it does.
that 4K.
I agree though. It would be cool to see him do a 4K because
then I don't need anything else. That's all I
don't want to keep using cam links, dude. Like that's
I know, right? Exactly.
Like it sucks. This is the camera episode. I'm just using a shitty webcam because I was like, I'm too lazy this morning to set up a cam link.
Yeah, the cam link. Yeah, exactly. Cam link is the only thing that can record 4K at the moment.
And it sucks.
And it's fucking garbo. Oh, speaking of which, Elgato released a bunch of stuff.
It's not bad for the price, but it sucks.
Elgato released check this out. This is actually pretty cool. Let me know if
they released a cool overpriced LED strip. Yeah.
Wait, they also released sound dampening foam that looks nice. But the coolest thing that they released.
Fuck the sound dampening foam though. Fuck that.
I think it looks cool, but wait, the coolest thing that they released. Cool. It's the green screen mouse mat is the coolest thing that they released.
The green screen mouse mat's actually dope.
That's fucking genius. I never thought of that. Great. So if you do overhead stuff or you do like your hands, you can green screen it out. That's awesome. That's actually genius. Who thought of that?
The mouse pad's actually the coolest. I agree. The lights is kind of cool. That's still way too overpriced. But if
Oh,
it
yeah.
actually works well with their phone app, then it's probably worth it, to be honest.
The lights are pretty good. Yeah, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty accurate. They are just a little expensive for what you get. You can get something a lot better for that price. But I mean, if you just need like, if you're in the
But if it
Elgato
works
family, why not? You know.
If it work, but it's more if it works with the phone app.
Right.
Because like that was my problem with like their stream light is like, okay, so the Elgato stream key, $200, and it's a fucking $80 Godox light. Like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Elgato needs to.
I can literally find that panel at Godox right now for $80.
I
Like,
think what
the same
Elgato
exact
needs to
fucking
do,
thing.
because their bread and butter are these capture cards, they really need to work on their capture software and the capture cards, because there's so many issues with them, man. They're great
Yeah.
too. Like they're excellent, but there's just so many issues. Like I'm constantly dealing with
There's
issues
a
with
lot of
delay.
flaws in it too, though.
Yeah.
And if you don't like, I'm fine with it not working with like the frame rates wrong, but like there's just so many things where it's like, why, dude? Just why is like if you're trying to record, it still fucks up your mic. You still have to run at least a double mic setup, sometimes a triple mic setup if you're trying to record locally to your computer, because it does not know how to handle audio over HDMI.
No, there's
literally
always
just
delay.
doesn't.
There's always some sort of fucking delay.
Massive delay too. Like it's not even fucking close.
And it'll be clean at first. Like you can't fix it. It'll be clean at first
Yeah.
and then slowly start to delay, where you can't fix that. You just can't fix it. You have to just stop it at a certain point. It's very annoying. And like their software has been dog shit for ever since it came out. So they really need to work on that shit, because they have a lot of great stuff. Like I've used Elgato for years
for
now.
pure image.
Oh,
great.
it's excellent. Yeah.
That's it though.
Yeah.
Actually trying to get to that pure image, it's hell. And then getting audio out of it, it's hell. We're actually recording with their software is hell. Like literally, but if you get that clean image into OBS, then
Yeah.
you're good.
All right, I think that's it. I think we're gonna stop it here.
I was just thinking of something, but then I forgot. Oh yeah, the panels. Fuck, don't buy those panels.
Yeah.
Don't spend $110 for 6 fucking dampening panels. Get fucked.
They look nice though.
They do look nice, but dude, I'm not spending $100 for 6 foam panels.
That is
Not in the
pretty
world
crazy.
of Amazon.
That is crazy. You can build your own too.
Yeah, you can build your own that are better.
Yeah. That's usually the way to
You
go.
know,
Just
it's
build your
even
own
so-
panels, because you could
Like that's
customize it to your room.
yeah,
and it's a
but
lot
that's
cheaper.
like that's my other thing with those is like it's $100 for 6, and I guarantee they are probably not even better, but I was gonna say barely better than like a fucking 12-pack of the shittiest ones on Amazon for $15.
It looks like they're more just like decorative, because like the way
Yeah.
they should, like they're
It's
not
just
even
decoration. That's
you're not
it.
even supposed to put them really. Like, you should put a couple behind your speakers, but they really should be on your ceiling and they should be behind you.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, let's wrap it up. This has been the No Life Show every Sunday. Hell yeah. 12 p.m. Eastern. And yeah.